Good morning, active bystander. Mr. Nobody. Oh, my God. Columbia plays tonight at 10 p.m. You guys better cheer for my team. I better cheer for Columbia. I mean it. Oh, no. Donald Trump just truth. Let's see what he said. The great Rush Limbaugh's wonderful wife, Catherine, was fantastic today on Fox and Friends as interviewed by Ainsley. We all miss Rush. Truly one of a kind. President DJT. That's what he just truthed. Okay, you fucking bum. This guy writes like he's in fucking first grade. I agree with you, Mr. Nobody. I really do. I agree with you. I miss you too. I did not want to go home. Good morning. Amanda is mildly informed today. I haven't, I've been getting my ass kicked at work. Like bad. Bad. Did you guys see the video about the Obama Presidential Center? I posted some stuff. Little tour, little mini vlog. Just a little mini vlog for you guys. I had some stuff on auto post. Some stuff from Pride. What qualifies me to say that? My opinion? My opinion of what? What are you talking about? Is that the lady from the picture? What lady from what picture? What are you talking about? Kara, if you send me your stuff from Pride, I can put it in a mini vlog for you. Support what, Rhett? Well, I mean, research data has shown that MAGA voters are very undereducated. Yes, bud. The chicken. Just one of the packs of chicken in the fridge. And then the rest of it can go in the freezer. Thank you, sweetheart. We're not talking about Obama. Obama's not the president anymore. I don't agree with a lot of things Obama did, but Obama's economy, considering what happened with George W., Obama had a great economy. We were thriving. We weren't just surviving. Right now, everybody's struggling to fucking survive. How's that going with the Epstein files there, Archaic? Free Palestine. Okay, Barr. What are his accomplishments? I went to the opening of the Obama Presidential Center. Yes, I did. Alright, Rhett, then shut the fuck up. Like, Obama didn't create shit healthcare. The Republicans fucked it up and continue to fuck it up. Any chance they get. They want you guys to think that socialism is bad. They want you guys to believe that. And you're so dumb you do. Like, that's the problem. Let's see what they're saying over there. Valiant, you're an idiot. I don't like Gavin Newsom. I didn't say anything about communism. Alright, I'm done. If you guys want me to talk to you on YouTube, you guys send me a super chat. Socialism doesn't fail. It doesn't. Only does socialism have issues when other places like, oh, I don't know, the United States of America, when we intervene. Same thing I do now, Bar. I don't have a blown out pussy. Archaic. I have. My shit is. No, they're not, Sue. Sue said, ever notice other countries? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Sue, you are correct. Ever notice no other countries are adopting our model of healthcare? I read that wrong. I apologize. What's up, Johnny? How you doing, babe? They really will. Healthcare in America is just unaffordable. It's unaffordable and unrealistic. That is really fucked up, Michael. Michael, what you just said was that, you know what, matter of fact, I want to take a screenshot of this shit. Because I'm going to post this. I'm gonna post this shit. Michael just said it would take 17 million Democrat feminists drafted and 2 million killed in action for me to vote blue ever again. Fuck you, Michael. Fuck you. You enlist. You enlist. Yes, the military is a social program. Thank you so much for the gift. FKS. Appreciate you. They're not going to be nice. Matt, guess what, Matt? You never get to speak on this channel ever again. And no one will even see what you said. So, They don't. Donovan, they're lying to you. They're literally lying to you. For you to say something like that, you have to be as smart as a fuck. Matter of fact, a doorknob is more intelligent than you. For you to be saying that and believing that. No one wants to support illegal immigration flooding into our country and letting them vote. That is wonderful. So we support immigration and immigration reform. Reforming our immigration system, making immigration more accessible and easier for people to achieve. Our system right now is so backlogged and so fucked up. 77 million voters is not even the majority of Americans. I hate to break it to you. 77 million people voted for Donald Trump, 75 million voted for Kamala Harris, and 85 million people who are eligible to vote did not vote. Because we don't have enough judges and we don't have enough administrative staff, Daniel. It's not hard. You're right, Megan. That's kind of ableist of me. I apologize. It was 85. It was 85.63 something, I think, that didn't vote, that were eligible to vote. So more people didn't vote than people who voted for Donald Trump. That is how unpopular he actually is. You can only vote in person or by mail. You can't vote online. It just... Wait, what? I'm enlisted, okay, statistically. Thank you so much for the gift, MS Girl. There are less women in the service doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just a stat. No diss. I love all, because I have no idea what it is that you're trying to say, but you can stop saying it over and over again because it makes no sense. That is correct, Jay. I don't support child trafficking. That's why I didn't vote for a Republican. That's true, Megan. A lot of people protest voted over Palestine or just didn't vote. Thank you so much, Ranting. I appreciate you for the journal. So much. Common sense. Your son is serving in the Navy. Good for him. What does that have to do with anything? Thank you, user. That's very kind of you. Your mom's a waste of time, Richie. Right, and they didn't help Palestine in the process, which was something that we warned people about. For those of us who are active, like politically, that's not going to help Palestine. What's going to help Palestine is voting for progressive candidates. And do I believe that Kamala Harris was that person that would have done the best for Palestine? Not necessarily so, but I thought she was our best option. Republicans do reverse Robin Hood the people. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right with that. They do reverse Robin Hood the people. I'm going to open the phone line up. Phone line is open. Atticus, fuck you and your mom. So you guys don't want to talk to me? You just want to hurl insults? Chris, I don't just sit on the internet, my guy. I do a lot of things. There's 24 hours in the day, and I make good use of every fucking one of them. Okay, if I'm not worth talking to, then you can't talk here. How about that? The thing is that people who are Republican don't really understand what it is the Democrat platform is. To be fair, Democrats are absolutely fucking terrible at branding and messaging. Absolutely terrible at branding and messaging. The call line is open, Rambo. And you haven't called. I haven't had a call since yesterday at 10:29 a.m. So Democrats do not hate America. No, they don't listen. They have to be told like the same 3-word slogans over and over and over again, and they don't even understand what that means. I hate that I can't just fucking block people. I have to go on my other account as a mod to go in there to block people when they request that. Yep. If you put that stupid shit in the chat, you get muted. It's the dumbest fucking thing ever. The fact that you took the time to copy and paste something and it doesn't even line up appropriately is fucking stupid. Good morning. Thanks for calling the stream. Can you please tell me your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Milad. I'm calling from Michigan.
Your name is what? I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Milad.
Okay.
M-I-L-A-D.
And you're calling from Michigan?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to add to the conversation?
So I wanted to say that I support this administration because they're actively trying to liberate my home country.
What country is that?
Iran.
And you think they're trying to liberate Iran?
Yes, from IRGC. We tried so hard when I was in Iran. Iranian people tried so hard to get rid of that regime once in 2022, another time in 2026, and we saw they made streets red with the blood of protesters, and many people felt that they cannot do it without foreign help. So here we are.
Just out of curiosity, where do you get your news information from?
Where do I get my news information from? There are some Iranian Persian broadcasting channels which are not tied to the Iran state media. They're based in London and Turkey and places like that. That's why they're
it's a simple question.
Not
where
biased.
Do you get your it's a simple question. Just where do you get?
But you don't know this broadcasting channels, but one of them is called Iran International, which
okay, that's all I was asking you. So you think that killing over 100 school children is liberating Iran? That dropping bombs
that incident happened by IRGC.
Liberating Iran.
IRGC bombed that school to make America and Israel look bad.
No, IRGC
They have done such
did
things.
not bomb that school. The United
They
States
tweeted and said it was us.
the United States has already claimed responsibility for that.
IRGC tweeted and said it was us. No? And by the way, what United States said, they said it's likely us.
Okay, cool. They tweeted it? What's their at? Who tweeted that? I want to see. What's their username on Twitter? Because the United
I
States
should look it up. I don't have it right.
All right, go ahead, go look it up. I'll wait for you.
Hang on.
Right, a tweet isn't a reliable source. What? What did I get a violation for? Okay. I don't know what happened to the call. I don't know if he hung up or it got disconnected, but whatever. Luca, how are you this morning? I can't hear you. Give me a second. I'm going to mute you for a second. Luca, are you there? I can't fucking hear. I hate this shit. Every time TikTok fucking updates. Every fucking time. I'm gonna drop you. I can't hear you. I'm gonna drop you back down. We'll try again in a second, Luca. Oh, you can't hear him either? Do. He heard it from someone who told someone. Gave him a telephone. Try this again. Can you guys can't hear him either? Nobody can hear you. Oh, God. That's an interesting username. But I'm definitely not going to say that out loud. Like, why do they have to keep changing shit? This is so annoying. The fuck is ducking? Variety is the spice of life. I can't go out and come back in, honey. That's not how that works. I'm on TikTok Studio. Alright, mad rabbit tree, then fucking fuck off. Fuck. What am I lying about? That I can't hear? Hello, good morning. Can you guys hear him? Because I can't. Is he gone? Yeah, I can't hear him either. Alright, I'm gonna end the live. I'm gonna restart. YouTube, you can hang out. And you know what? Yeah, YouTube, you can hang out. I'm gonna try it again. I'll be right back. Come back. Well, there's 221 people. I don't want to end the fucking live. It's not my fault, J2. Every time TikTok updates, it does this. Like, I can get phone calls and have no issue. It's fucking TikTok. Good morning. Thanks for calling the stream. Can you please tell me your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Colonel Mark Brown. Calling.
You're breaking up.
My name is Colonel Mark Brown, and I'm calling from Tennessee.
Okay, Mark.
You. Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to be condescending. That is not a good way to start a conversation.
I'm not condescending. You're in complete denial and completely gaslighting this situation. You obviously don't know what happened.
What branch of service are you in?
United States Marine Corps.
And what rank is a colonel? An O what?
What rank is a colonel? 05.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry?
05.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that. Oh, you're gonna look them up.
Yeah,
All right.
Let's back up just a little bit. So
sure.
I'm going to tell you that the Persian people in Iran do not speak their own
language. It's
language.
Not Iran, it's Iran.
Well,
so you're not off to a good start.
Pronounced different. That's fine. You're in complete denial that they don't even speak their own language because of the religious zealots that are in control. Deny it. Gaslight some more. It's okay.
I haven't said anything.
You've been brainwashed, and I'm going to prove to you you've been brainwashed.
Okay, dumbass, go for
Does the flag of Iran bear a semblance to the flag of Persia?
He said Marine Corps.
This is a flag from 50 years ago. We're talking about 50 years ago. Is the flag the same? It was altered.
Colonel's in 06, by the way.
The current... You're obviously very bright.
You're not going to sit here and fucking insult me. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. If you want to be a condescending little dick prick, then do that to your fucking mother, because I genuinely don't care. He didn't say anything of value, Bar. As a matter of fact, I'm tired of seeing you in the chat. Shut up. I agree, Sterling. Except for that every vote is a vote against freedom. I agree with everything else that you said. I am a real American. I was born in the United States. I didn't start with insulting him. The very first thing that came out of his mouth after his name was being condescending. Hold on. I gotta send Alex a picture. Hold on. Camera. Flip the camera. Okay. Do you guys like my phone? I got a cute little sticker on there. Resist. Colonel Mark Brown isn't a real guy. He doesn't exist in DVIDS at all. He might, yeah, because even if he was Marine Corps Reserve, he would still show up. I'm not miserable. Well, I mean, I'm a little miserable today. My uterus is angry, and it's pissing me off. Thanks, Tia. They do love to play fake military a lot. Very often. If you think I'm boring, why are you still here, Bram? It's never something that you should ask someone in the military or that was served in the military, soldier. Never. It's never acceptable. His Marine is in his head with his other personalities. That's fair. It's a fair assessment, I feel. There's no email associated with him. Did you try Mark in both spellings? K-N-C? Yeah, they always do that, though. Where am I from? New Jersey. Hold on 1 second, Alex. I got you. Wavelength, where are you at? I haven't changed anything on Wavelength, Alex. My camera's dirty. Eeh. Yeah, my dad was a Marine. It's weird. No, I'm not Jewish. You guys have a lot of shit to say. You keep saying open the phone line. The phone line's open. Call in and have a conversation like an actual adult, though. Like, I'm not in the mood to deal with babysitting somebody. I'm not in the mood to babysit somebody's fucking grown-ass child. Good morning. Doofy, I can't. We're fixing the audio. You gotta hang tight, friend. I can't hear you, so there's no point in letting you sit up here. The chat can't hear you either, so you just talking to yourself. Trump didn't end fraud. Trump did not end fraud, Raph. Can you call even if you just want to talk? Not really, no. Not really. He did create more fraud. Alex is typing. He might have fixed it already. I don't know why the launch button on my Streamlabs isn't working for Wavelength either. Every time there's an update, there's a fucking issue. It's so annoying. Yeah, everything is set to my headphones the way it's supposed to be. Not really sure what's going on. But yeah, he was supposed to drain the swamp, but he is the swamp. I do vote Democrat, but I don't really consider myself a Democrat, if that makes sense to you. Thanks, Rafe. ICE isn't coming to Florida for me. I'm a United States citizen. They can. I can get detained, but eventually I'll be released. Oh, who knows? They might deport me because they've been deporting American citizens. So, you know. Wouldn't it? Like, here, go talk. I do that to them on the phone. When they're being assholes on the phone, I just put them on hold and they yell at themselves. I don't answer unknown calls. If you're going to call in, you have to call with your phone number showing. Did I do an interview with Don Lemon? No. I wouldn't say they're ideologically the same as Republicans. I mean, I understand that you're a communist, but in the system that we work in, they're the most aligned with human rights, even though they don't really do things. Thank you for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Travis from West Virginia.
Travis from West Virginia. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Well, I just wanted to answer your question why I would support Republicans. And, I mean, I could think of a million reasons, but all I really need is one. Democrats want men in little girls' restrooms in sports. That's enough for me. Not to mention, Democrats say, they also say men can get pregnant. I mean, these people are mentally ill.
You don't understand
So,
the difference between sex and gender, and that's okay, friend. I can explain it to you. Sex
there is
something
no
that
damn difference. Let's get to reality
why
here.
are you
I
being
mean,
rude? Did I interrupt you when you were
I'm not
speaking?
being rude.
Did I
I'm
interrupt you when you were
speaking from
speaking?
common sense and reality. There are two, men and women. And that's pretty much with anything in life. You can either be one, the
Okay. Just be fucking rude then. Ugh. That's all that shows up, Alex. That's all that shows up. I would love to let you guys up. You just gotta give me a second. Trying to fix the audio. Let's see if it's fixed. Alex is typing. Yo, speaking of James Fishback, do you know this guy is sending out text messages to people telling people to change their voter registration to Republican so they can vote for him in the primary? He is desperate. Desperate. Fucking desperate. It is wild. No, because he wouldn't let me speak, and I'm not really interested in what it is that he has to say. Like, he can, if he wants to monologue, he can talk to himself. I was trying to talk to him, and he just wasn't interested. He wasn't interested in having a conversation. He just wanted to talk to himself, so he can talk to himself now. He was rude, knee deep, because as soon as I started speaking, he started talking over me. That's rude. Thanks for calling stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Derek, Missouri.
All right, Derek from Missouri. What's going on? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I'm fine, thank you. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Well, somewhat along with the what the last guy was saying. He was being rude, not letting you talk. But like, I voted for Democrats and Republicans in my life, but I can't vote for a Democrat when they think that boys should be playing sports with girls. It's just a non-starter.
I played sports with boys when I was a kid.
Okay, so do you think they should?
The floor with, and some of them I didn't. I played soccer from the age of 4 until the age of 15 on co-ed teams. It's not an issue.
Okay, well, you're talking about children. What about adults?
What about adults?
Do you think adult women should be playing with adult men?
Well, they're not men, they're trans women. There's a big difference there.
Is there?
There is, yes. When you're
okay,
on,
so
go ahead.
No, so you think they should be playing sports with women?
Trans women should be playing sports with women, yes.
Including boxing?
Yes.
Then, so that right there, like, maybe, obviously you don't agree, but I'm just letting you know the vast majority of the country is not with you on this, and is literally why you will lose elections.
I mean, and that's fine. That's fair. It's an education issue. People don't understand. They listen to a lot of propaganda about trans people in the trans community. You know, it's about educating yourself and trying to understand what exactly trans people are and how being trans impacts your body when you transition. When you go on to hormone replacement therapies, if you were born male and you transition from man, if you're a trans woman, your body changes. Your muscle mass, your ability to gain muscle mass changes, your bone density changes. All of these things change. So you're no longer, like, biologically, the processes that happen for you to build muscle mass, your endurance, your speed, all of those things, they actually lessen. You're not able to do things at the rate at which a cis man would. And people don't understand that. They just see that the word trans and they, jump into bigotry or fear or just flat out hatred of trans people. It's really not an issue.
What about trans people who didn't transition when they were younger and take puberty blockers? What if they transition when they were 27?
It still applies.
So they should still be allowed to box a female.
Yes.
They transitioned at 27.
If they're on hormone replacement therapy, yes, your body still changes. If you'd like to talk to a trans person about it, I would be happy to have a trans person come and talk to you about how their body changed once they transitioned.
So you think that if a person who's, let's just say, over 25, they transition later in life, they get on hormones, you think stuff like their bone density and their, like, how much oxygen they can breathe in, their lung capacity, you think all that is on par with a woman?
Well, lung capacity is not necessarily something that is assigned to people based off of their sex. Everybody's lungs are different. It more has to do with body habitus than it does to do with male versus female. So
you think the difference between male and female lung capacity, you think there's no difference?
It is all individual, regardless of male or female. I know this because I work in radiology. I've worked in the medical field for over 20 years. There are plenty of women who have larger lungs with larger lung capacity than men. It really has nothing to do with that.
Okay, what about bone density and muscle mass?
When you start taking estrogen and progesterone, your bone density does change, as does your muscle mass.
Okay, it does change, but someone who already went through puberty, like at a young age, and then
puberty has nothing to do with it. Puberty does not impact that. What puberty does impact is, like, go ahead.
So a young boy hits puberty, goes through male puberty, their body is flooded with testosterone. They continue to grow through another 15, 17 years. And so, like, when you say, oh yeah, they take some pills, it's the same. How many pills? They take one pill, and then they have the same body as a woman? Like, they need it for a year, 2 years?
Consistently for years. I believe that it's about a period of 2 years before you're eligible to compete in sports. But men also do have estrogen.
Well, that would depend specifically on the league and their guidelines, because not every league has that guideline.
But according to the science with hormone replacement therapy, I believe it is a period of 2 years.
So kind of what, like, your argument so far has been essentially that a trans woman is the same thing as a cis woman, so they should be allowed to compete. Why don't we just, we could fix this issue completely if we just get rid of all the women's leagues and we'll just have one league where everybody can compete in. We don't need a WNBA anymore. Let's just have the NBA. And if women want to play professional basketball, they can compete against the men.
So are both men and women then going to take different hormones to put them on the same playing field? Like, are we going to have men start taking progesterone and estrogen, and then we're going to have women start taking testosterone? Are we going to?
Yeah, you could have women start taking testosterone, sure.
Everybody who wants to be a professional athlete has to take some kind of hormone replacement therapy.
Well, I never said that. That's what you said.
But
I said let's just have one league.
But that would be how we mitigate that. Do you understand? I don't think you understand what you're saying.
Oh, I think I understand perfectly clear.
You don't.
Because saying that
in order for it to be a level playing field, everyone would have to take some type of hormone replacement therapy.
Do you think there's any study out there that like might say you're wrong? That like bone density doesn't change when you start taking hormones at 27?
Not that I'm aware of. Would you like? Do you have a source that I could look at?
I'm on the phone with you. I'm not like in front of a computer, but
okay, I can look
I don't think. Yeah. Why don't you look it up? Someone who transitions at 27, like how long do they need to take pills for their bone density to be on par with a woman?
Yes, bone density generally decreases again after hormone replacement therapy is stopped, blah, blah, blah. The estrogen preserver increase bone once therapy ends, the protected, blah, 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 blah.
'Do you know that like mini leagues
I'm not
are?
Seeing anything that would change what I said.
You're not seeing anything that would. I asked you
that
a question.
What I said. That
I said,
is a non issue.
Do you remember the question I asked you?
You said if you started HRT at like 27, how long would it take for your bone density to decrease? It depends on the person.
No, I didn't ask that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't ask how.
Restate your question.
Yeah, I didn't ask how long does it take for your.
Exactly what you say. Go ahead.
I didn't ask how long it takes for bone density to decrease. I asked how long it takes for bone density to decrease where a man is on par with a woman.
$12 to 24 months.
12 to 24 months. So
right.
How do they measure bone density?
With a DEXA scan.
Okay, and like what is the average? Do they assign like a numerical value or what is
Yes, there's a score on a bone density. Bone density, they measure your lumbar spine and your hip. If you can't measure your hip, you do your wrist of the non-dominant side. It's
okay, so like what is the average bone density score of a woman?
It depends on their age. Is there a specific age you'd like me to look up?
Let's just do 30. And if you don't mind to check them in too, I'm curious what the difference is.
Come on. Stupid Google. I forgot to put at age 30. Zero is the average.
0 is the average?
Mm-hmm.
They have a bone density of 0?
Correct. Because it's a Z score. So the score, Yeah, you have to understand what a z-score is. A z-score measures like what the standard deviation is for your specific measurements for the average of your reference group. A z-score specifically compares you to your peers based on the exact age, sex, and body size. It's the average demographic. So the average demographic is 0 for a 30-year-old. The expected range, it depends. It depends on the person, on the individual, but most of this stuff isn't really relevant until you're perimenopausal.
Well, I'm just asking like the average 30-year-old score for a woman and a man to compare them.
I just told you.
So they both score 0. So a woman and a man at 30 have the same bone density score.
Right, because you're supposed to be 0. You don't want to be plus or minus. If you're plus or minus, that means you deviate from the standard. You want to be 0.
Okay, so I'm just asking a clarifying question. What you're saying to me is that men and women at age 30 both have a bone density score of 0. Is that what you're telling me?
Right, because 0 doesn't mean nothing. 0 means that you fit within the standard.
I never said it means. I'm asking if their score is the same.
Yes, because it's based on what the standard is for your age group.
So a man and a woman at age 30 both have the same bone density when you compare them together.
No.
Okay, well that's what I've been asking you.
Because you can't score a woman's z-score based off of man's demographics. It won't be.
So there's no way to compare a 30-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman and their bone density.
You can, but we were talking about z-scores. You asked what the average z-score is. It's 0. Okay.
Well,
how does bone density compare between a 30-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman? Would be the more acceptable question that you want to ask.
Yeah.
So at 30 years old, a man generally, this is according to the National Institute of Health, a man generally has a higher bone density, a BMD, and a larger bone mass than a woman. Both sexes reach their peak bone mass, the maximum density and strength of their bones, around 30 years old.
Okay, so what in that bone density between a man and a woman, what's the difference?
Men have larger bones, so their overall bone strength and mineral content are greater. I'm looking for the baseline T-score. I'm looking for the baseline T-score. It's hard because 30 is the peak bone mass for both of them. But I'm looking for a different.
Well, 30 is perfect because that's when you're in your prime as far as athletics.
Mental comparisons of
general
groups.
Depending on the sport.
I don't care about 8 years and over. Non-Hispanic, Mexican American, non-Hispanic white males, ages 8 and over. Test for means, Scottish means test, the Welch test, Brown's Forsyth test, Turkey Kramer test.
You know, I could, this is getting a little boring, especially probably for people watching. I could probably take it a different route where we stay on the same topic. Let me ask you, why do you think we have women in men's sports? Like, why separate them at all to begin with?
Why do we have
like
trans
you
women
must
play?
believe. No, I'm asking like you must believe like there's differences between a man and a woman, right? Like biologically
Between male
speaking.
and female, yes. There's also a difference between
part of
intersex
that.
people.
Right. Well, intersex people, I mean, come on. They're like, what, less than 1% of a 1%? Like
Yes, it's
you
a
can be
small
born
amount
with
of
4.
population, but it's as common as green eyes.
Okay, well, you can be born with 4 fingers, but we don't say that, 10 fingers is
People with
10 fingers is
polydactyly,
normal, right?
people with polydactyly still exist. That doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Oh,
They
okay,
usually do
so
research on polydactyly.
right, but every time we, if we talk about a topic or subject or whatever, we don't like list out every single gross exception that there could be, every tiny little detail. We just say, there's 10 million diseases that could cause you to be born without a right hand. But we don't say that. We say that humans are born with 2 hands.
Mm-hmm.
But comes to things like bone density, muscle mass, and all that. And I think the main part where we probably disagree is just you think someone can take a magic pill and then is equally on par with a woman in, every measurable sense physically.
Well, it's not a magic pill. Like it's a series of hormones that are at different dosages and levels that are appropriate for you, which is different for everybody, that would bring you to the baseline for what a male or female is. So it's not a magic pill.
What do you think? Do you have a thought on like the sports leagues that have since like revised their position on trans athletes?
Like what?
Well, they've been banned.
I don't think it's right. I don't think trans athletes should be banned. I think that if people understood the science better, that it wouldn't even be an issue.
So you think like the NCAA, if they reverse policy, they're not looking into the issue? You think they're just a like panel of bigots?
A panel of bigots? I think that they've caved to societal pressures.
I guess what I'm asking you in a sense is, do you believe that there's any chance that maybe you're wrong? Or do you are you locked in 100%? Follow the science, yeah. That I think we both can agree that science hasn't been the best since COVID.
Science has not changed. The scientific method has remained the same. Science hasn't changed. How we come to
science
conclusions
certainly has changed in that it's far more political than it's. I know what the scientific method is. I'm not talking about the scientific method. I didn't say the scientific.
It hasn't changed.
It has changed. Can I tell you how it's changed?
Yeah.
It's become far more. It's become far more political than it's ever been. Ever.
Science is not political.
Science is not political.
No.
Okay, so one side believes that climate change is real, the other side believes it's not real. Is that not political?
The data has shown that climate change is real. And just because there are people who deny it doesn't change the science.
So you're telling me people don't have scientific beliefs based on politics?
Some people might, sure, I guess, and those people are idiots.
So that is my point. That science is now interwoven with politics in a way that has never been before.
It is not. So science is not influenced by politics. The outcomes of scientific research is not influenced by politics. Now, it may be personal biases or biases within, the researchers, but it's not political. Politicians, however,
so when the Biden White House is contacting Facebook, so telling them what they can and can't post, what should be removed, what shouldn't be allowed to be up, that's not politics?
That's stopping the spread of misinformation.
Oh, okay. So you're the arbiter.
So the science hasn't changed. The science hasn't changed, but what people were doing was misconstruing data and giving out false information, which led to many people dying.
Okay, so what about the information that they tried to take down that wasn't false?
Like what?
Oh, God, there was so much. like the effectiveness of masks in children.
Okay, science evolves as we get research and we learn things, outcomes change, but that doesn't mean that politics were involved. That means research was being conducted.
So then why didn't the Biden White House allow that information to be posted on Facebook? Why did they contact Facebook trying to get the new scientific information?
Show me a source that says that new
Bro,
scientific information was suppressed by the White House.
So right now I'm rocking my son as I talk to you. He's almost asleep. I'd be happy to go down to a computer. I'm kind of surprised you haven't heard of this, but if you live in a bubble, I guess I get it. But you could just Google exactly what I said to you. Biden administration, Facebook.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I want you to prove what you're saying is true. The Biden administration wanted Facebook to not post mis or disinformation or allow the posting of mis or disinformation because it is harmful to public health.
Do you think that's a good, do you think that's a good thing to do? Do you not see an issue? So do you think the Trump administration should be allowed to do that?
If people are posting mis or disinformation relating to public health that the outcome could potentially save lives, then yeah, they should do that. They should not allow.
So you
the
feel
posting of mis or
comfortable
disinformation.
allowing the Trump administration to just declare what they want is misinformation?
The scientific research backs that information as to whether or not it is correct or incorrect.
If
there's scientific information that supports what it is that they're saying,
okay.
verifiable,
You don't gotta get so mad. You're like molding out now.
I'm not mad. I'm not.
You're looping too. So
I'm not. You're
don't you agree that it's almost no matter what the topic is, right? You can get a study to say both ways on almost anything.
Right, so if you had let me finish my sentence, what I was saying was as long as that scientific information is backed by data and is peer reviewed, then yes, I would refer to that as what would be the gold standard of the information. Peer reviewed is the key part of that. So in order for something to be peer reviewed, that means that another group had to take the same study with the same control, the same group, the same amount of people, and conduct the study in the same way and replicate the results. Then we can say okay, so this one group got this result, and then another group did the exact same thing and got the same result. We can say that X does in fact lead to Y.
You sound very mad.
I'm not mad.
What about when you can't do an experiment like that and have a control group?
If you can't replicate the study, then we can only take that study as face value.
Well, then you don't have any study. If that's the logic you want, you don't have any study saying that masks are effective.
Masks are effective. That's why we wear them when we go into rooms with airborne precautions or droplet precautions. That's why when I got exposed to tuberculosis 2.5 weeks ago and I wasn't masked, I had to go through a whole process with occupational health to get my blood tested. I had to get a quantiferin done. I have to get another quantiferin done in 6 months. If I get symptoms, then I need to report to occupational health and report those symptoms. We know that certain diseases are spread through respiratory and through droplets. In our respirations, when we talk, when we breathe, we emit droplets. And we know that certain things like tuberculosis are spread that way. So we wear N95s when we're around patients who have communicable diseases that are communicated in that way. We know that. The science backs that.
So I agree with you that an N95, when properly fitted and worn entirely, will reduce airborne illness.
Even surgical
But what about
masks.
Cloth masks?
Even cloth masks
Okay.
and surgical masks prevent the spread of illness. That's why we wear them in the operating room.
Okay, and you want a study. So you want a study that could be replicated saying that, correct?
We have plenty of studies that provide that information.
You actually don't believe it or not, and I
do
can
believe it.
tell you why.
That is why I wear a mask when I go into the operating room. When I when I scrub in, I wear a mask.
Yeah, I'm not. I never said you didn't. I'm not talking about that at all. So here's what I'm talking about. In order to do a study to find out the effectiveness of mask, you need a control group. So you would need a group of people without mask, and you would have to expose them to the disease to see what the infection rate is. We don't do experiments like that.
We don't.
We don't do experiments where we put a bunch of maskless people in a room and expose them to disease, and then have a bunch of people with masks in a room and expose them to disease.
We do, and we have.
Okay,
the United States actually has intentionally exposed people to diseases like syphilis to see what would happen.
Okay, so you're talking about like the Tuskegee experiments, right?
Yes, we do experiment on people.
Okay, that was a failed experiment that wasn't done properly because they exposed people to disease.
That's not the point. That's not the point. We do expose
That's
people
the entire
to
point of my argument.
Whether they're agreeable or not.
Sorry, can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
We do expose people to diseases intentionally, whether they're agreeable or not. Sometimes there are studies that are done where people understand that there's a risk involved, that they will be a part of a control group, and they will be exposed to certain hazards, and they still sign up for the experiment because they're compensated for their time.
So, okay, so you think we had an experiment where we put a bunch of maskless people in a room and expose them to COVID to test the effective rate?
We can test masks without exposing people to COVID.
How? How? You don't have a control group. You need a control. You have to control the variable.
Yes, you can do that without actually even using human beings, period.
How?
How? By taking a mask and taking a spray bottle or something of that equivalent that would be equivalent to your respiratory droplets. Then we look at the size of the particles of the disease when it's passed through spit or through, all of the mechanisms in which we perceive it to be spread, and spray it through the mask and see how much passes through. Like there's different ways to do it without exposing people. And I believe that is one of the methods that they used to test whether or not masks were being effective. Now that's why they were telling people not, if you have a surgical mask, good, great, wear it. But if you can get a KN95 or an N95, those are preferable because they stop droplets much more effectively than a surgical mask. Why couldn't we get them? Oh, I don't know. Trump fucking sold our stockpile to Russia.
Did he? So if that's true, why did Fauci, whenever it first happened, tell everybody that you don't need masks? When?
Okay, so I think that you need to understand that COVID was a novel virus, right? We didn't know shit about it. And so as we were going through the pandemic,
so he said why he lied. He said why he lied.
Whoa, God.
This is on CBS News. Like you could go watch him.
So is this
he
why
said
you still
the
support
reason,
the Republicans?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that why you still support the Republicans?
Because I can't vote Democrat again because they're completely unhinged. They're not in reality. They want men and women's sports. And that's like a baseline starter.
But what do you care about other people's genitals? If I'm telling you that after 12 to 24 months of
I don't care about people's genitals. I care.
But if I'm telling you that after, we just talked about the research that in 12 to 24 months.
Do you like sports?
And your muscle mass. Yes, I do like sports.
Do you like sports or you don't care?
Sure. Sure. That's irrelevant.
Do you agree with me that the vast majority of Americans, male and female, sports is a big part of our culture and our life?
Sure.
Do you agree with that or no? Okay,
sure.
So this is I say that because this is a very simple thing that many, if you're not political, you and I actually, I think we've been having a decent exchange here. I let you talk, you let me talk. We have opposing views. We've been doing fine here. Most people are not like us. Most people don't care about politics. They're doing their own thing. They just don't care at all. But sports, most people very much love sports, especially our American leagues. These sports leagues are some of the best in the world. Our stadiums are top-notch, world-class. This is the mecca of competition. And it's huge for us Americans. And we all know that there's a difference between men and women because that's why we have separate leagues. So
And I
I
just told you
think
that biologically, after 12 to 24 months of HRT, people's bone density and bone mass changes when you're transitioning from male from
yeah,
man to
yeah,
a woman.
again, I
Okay,
never
so
said
we've
it didn't
already
change. My issue was that
so
it
then there's
doesn't
no
change
issue.
on the same par as a woman. That's the issue
It
that I have.
does. It does.
I don't.
It
Well,
does.
you couldn't you
That's not
couldn't
what you were
show me
asking
that
me. You were
while you were.
asking me what the bone density difference was between a 30-year-old man and a 30-year-old
Yeah,
woman. We weren't looking at.
yeah, that's what I asked you the entire time over and over. I
But
kept saying the
you
same
didn't
thing
ask
too. I want
me.
to know
You
the
didn't ask
difference.
me what the difference. That's not what you asked me. I googled exactly what you asked for.
Yeah, the difference between a man and a woman.
You didn't ask me what the bone density measurements were between somebody who was who transitioned and who was on HRT. There are studies that show that information, and you can find that information for yourself if you're curious to know, to educate yourself.
How so you can tell me how a man loses his bone density to come on par with a woman, but you can't tell me the difference between a man and a woman.
Because what? What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my god.
Okay, I've asked you over and over.
When we're talking about a man, right? If we're talking about a man and we're talking about the bone density of a man, they compare men to other men in order to get this standard of what a bone density should be for that person's age and gender, or age and sex.
I understand that.
Me. So, but if we want to compare trans women to cis women after 12 to 24 months, depending on the person, because again, we have to go through different trials of what hormone levels work for each individual. Some people are good on certain doses, other people need a larger dose. But after that 12 to 24 months, a trans woman's bone density and muscle mass is comparable to that of a cis woman.
What does comparable mean in this instance?
It is similar, if not the same. Because again, even if you took me, a cis woman, and compared me to another cis woman who is exactly the same.
The word comparable does not mean the same. The word equal would mean the same.
Finish, please let me finish, please, because you keep interrupting.
It's
getting frustrating.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you took me as a cis woman and compared me to another cis woman who is the same age, same height, same weight, we will have slight differences in our bone density.
Yeah,
no matter what. It will not be exactly the same. And that same thing holds true between a trans woman who has been on HRT for 12 to 24 months and a cis woman. They will be similar, but not identical, because it is impossible to have an exactly identical bone density as someone else. The exception to that would be identical twins.
Okay, I barely interrupted you when you're talking at all this entire conversation for, I don't know, over a half hour now. But two, so it seems like you use the word comparable and then you're just like, oh, comparable. It is like, then your brain stops. It's pretty much the same. That's what you said. That's part of the reason why I was asking for an actual numerical value, because the word comparable, like, you know, we could get in the weeds and really, like, does comparable mean that it's close, but every single trans person has a higher bone density than cis women? Like,
no,
is that what comparable means?
No, some of them have lower bone densities than cis women. Again, it's individualized. Even if you
and specifically, like, I'm not, and specifically, like, what I've been talking about and mentioning for my argument is, like a 27-year-old. Like, I do agree that if you take puberty blockers when you're a child and you don't go, like, your puberty is blocked, I think you're far more likely to be on par with a woman versus when you're, like, do you know who Fallon Fox is, any chance?
No. Yes, he is calling in from YouTube. Sorry, somebody's asking me a question.
Sorry?
Fallon Fox?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fallon Fox was a person who transitioned later in life and was an MMA fighter. And for a while, for their, like, first, I don't know, 4 or 5 fights or whatever it was, they weren't telling the women that they were fighting that they were born a man.
Who cares? I mean, I'm looking at Fallon Fox right now. Her body composition is comparable to that of Layla Ali, and that they're a cis woman. So what's the difference?
Okay,
What's
so
the
do you
point?
think like looking at a photo of a man and a woman that their body is the same?
Your body, okay, sir.
Like,
I don't know how many times I have to explain this to you. Your body
Do
composition.
you think a
changes when you go on
150-pound woman
HRT.
who's in shape is just as strong as a 150-pound man who's in shape? Do you think they can
It
lift like
depends
the
on the
same weight?
individual.
So you can keep. I'm just telling you, like, whether
On average,
you can think
no.
I'm wrong, you can think I'm ill-informed, or whatever it is, but this view that you have is shared by almost no one in the country. You can scream about scientific
true.
studies until you're blue in the face, but
that
the
is not
vast
true.
majority of people are not going to be comfortable with a 27-year-old changing their gender and then fighting women in the MMA.
Sorry, friend. They sent a galaxy. Have a good day, dumbass. How many different ways do I have to explain this to him? Tia, I see your galaxy. We'll hold that one for another time. Remember that you got one waiting in the wings. I don't know how many times I have to explain this. Even with two cis women, if you got another cis woman who is the same age as me, okay, I'm about to be 41. So if we got two, let's just for shits and gigs say 41-year-old women who were born right around the same, you can even get two 41-year-old women with the same birthday who are both 5'6" and 122 pounds, because that is how much I weigh, okay? My bone density in comparison to another cis woman will be different. Will it be different to the point that it changes the Z-score? Maybe, maybe not, but not necessarily so. They will in fact be comparable. The same thing happens with trans women. Your body composition changes in terms of your muscle mass and bone density after you've been on HRT for a period of about 2 years. It is comparable to that of a cis woman. So if you had one trans woman and the two cis women and compared them all together, they would be close to the same, so similar, if not the same. Bone is a friendly. I don't know what y'all are like. Why is this a difficult concept? I know that there were two people who were trying to call in while I was on that call with another caller. I do not interrupt phone calls to answer the call waiting. I usually just put it back on Do Not Disturb. If you are calling in and would like to call in, that is not true, doing big things. If you would like to call in, you can call in now. Spade, they want to talk about trans people. So the topic of conversation today, just to remind you guys, is right here on the screen. It's really big, right above my head. Why do you still support the Republicans? If you want to talk about trans people, I'm not going to talk to you about trans people. You can go read shit. Thank you for calling the tree, and please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
My name's Bart. I'm calling from Killeen, Texas.
Okay, what would you like to add to the conversation?
Well, first of all, I want to say, so I don't sound too much like a bigot, what you would call me is, well, what are inalienable rights to you? What do you think inalienable rights are?
Why?
Well, I'm just trying to get, it's just like, I'm trying to get to a point in a second. Well, I'll tell you. I'll just go ahead and tell you.
Okay, yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, inalienable rights are, you have the right to do whatever you want to your body. You have the right to be whoever you want to be with. Nobody has a right to tell you or stop you from doing that. I strongly believe that, right?
Okay.
So just because I believe in that, it doesn't mean that all this gay stuff isn't mental illness, okay? Like, you can't, the problem is with all this is you can do all that, but you can't force it on society and call it normal. Okay,
all right, well,
it's
let me
not
ask you
normal.
A question. When did you choose to be straight?
I'm born straight. I believe people were born gay too. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I do. Like a lot of Christians, I'm not. It is a mental illness. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay.
Why?
Think about this. Nothing on this planet would exist right now if it wasn't for the male and female species of plants, animals in the sea, animals in the air, mammals, if they didn't procreate. It's designed to be male and female. That's how everything was designed, whether you believe in God or whatever the fuck anybody believes in. That's how we were designed, male and female. So you tell me how anything would be in existence right now if it wasn't for those, that main factor, male and female. Nothing would exist right now. The number one law of nature the number one law of nature is reproduction. You don't think that's true?
Sure,
you don't think the number one law of
important
nature
to survival of a species, but we can reproduce without
nothing.
Male and female.
How?
How
is this possible?
There are species that change their sex in order to reproduce.
You're talking about a seahorse, okay? If seahorses died off, nothing would change. It'd be sad,
sex.
Right? We wouldn't have. Huh?
Seahorses don't change their sex.
Okay. I think seahorses do change their sex. Yes.
I don't know. We're
That's
not seahorses. We're human beings.
I know, exactly. So if seahorses died off, you're naming an anomaly in nature. Like, that's an anomaly. Like, this being born gay, it's like you're taking yourself out of the gene pool. I don't hate gay people at all. I just don't like the fact that we're being forced to believe that a man, okay, look at it like this.
There are plenty of heterosexual. Well, hold on. There are plenty of heterosexual people who choose not to reproduce. Does that mean they have a mental illness?
Yes.
Why do they have a mental illness if they choose not to reproduce?
But they're not born wanting to have sex with another man's butthole. Like, there's something off with that. Once again, you can do that.
I'm a woman and I like that.
But to force it on society, and that's your choice. But to force it on society
exactly.
is normal. It's like where the line has always
whatever
been.
Sexual behavior they want to.
Exactly. But you can't force it on society and make us say that what the 7% of the population does is normal, and you have to accept this. That's ridiculous.
But nobody is telling you that you have to have anal sex. No one. No one is forcing you to engage in anal sex. So what?
But that doesn't make it not. Because it's a mental illness. I'm just telling you right now, like,
how is it a mental
you're taking
illness?
yourself out of the gene pool.
How is it
because
a mental
we're all
illness?
born to. Because every species on this planet was born to reproduce, to continue life. Without that, nothing would fucking exist right now.
Do you know that?
Do you understand that?
Do you know that there are many species on Earth who, if they feel that the environment is not hospitable to young, can cause themselves to miscarry? And
that's not going to disrupt the whole food chain and destroy all living life. You're missing the point. You're naming an anomaly in nature.
No, it's not an anomaly.
You're naming an anomaly in nature.
Yeehaw!
Yes, it is
by design. Why are you losing your shit? It is actually by
design. I'm not
design
losing my shit. You sound crazy. Okay, look. Here's how crazy you sound. Let me ask you a question.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you if you don't stop. Okay, guys, it is by design that there are certain species who can choose to electively abort their pregnancies when their species are not in a hospitable environment for procreation. I need you to stop yelling, friend, and I need you to let me speak. Okay? So it's not an anomaly. It is by design. It is by evolutionary design that those species can choose to miscarry or abort their pregnancies when the environment is not hospitable to the reproduction and raising of young.
Yeah. But that's not, if they die off, all the nature on the earth, humans, plants, and everything, that's not going to affect the rest of nature to where we all die off. The whole point, everybody is alive right now for one factor, a male and a female procreating. There's only one way it happens. That's the natural way. Let me ask you something. So you definitely believe a man can, at 40 years or whatever he is, a married man can wake up one morning, or maybe he's been having this feeling in his mind for a couple of years, like, I'm a woman. I just think I'm a woman, right? So do you think a married man can wake up one morning and decide he's a woman and be a woman? And like, if he believes that truly and starts wearing dresses and identifying a woman, he's a woman. Do you believe that?
This has nothing to do with the prompt. Why do you still support Republicans?
So you don't think a man?
Yes, if someone chooses to transition, then that is who they are. They're living their life as their authentic self.
So is his wife?
You can't say
Oh,
nobody
so is
just
his
wakes
wife
up
gay
one day.
now?
Sir, nobody just wakes
So
up
now
one
his
day
wife's
and
gay. So now his wife is gay. Because by your belief, if he believes he's a woman now his wife is gay. You see the madness of this shit? It's madness. Once again, you can do whatever and believe whatever you want to do whatever you want to do with another human, but you can't force it on the rest of society, the other 97%
Who is
of
forcing
society
that woman?
that's not mentally ill.
Okay, if somebody decides to transition and they're already married,
Because it's not
no
real.
one is
Because
forcing
the
them to
whole
stay married. Like, what the fuck are you
It-
talking
it
about?
is.
No one is forcing anyone
It
to
is.
do anything.
It is
No one is
forcing
forcing
when
anyone
you're
to do
putting this shit out in
anything.
school. When you're putting this shit out in school books and school and trying
Yes,
to teach
Tia.
our kids.
Tia paid to kick you. Fuck off. No one is forcing you to do anything. No one, not a single soul is forcing you to have gay marriage, engage in same-sex intercourse. No one is forcing you to do those things. Like, why do you guys think nobody is gonna come to your house and fucking peg you? Like, I promise. Unless you ask for it. Nicely, of course. But that's not happening. That is an interesting comment that I happened to look over there, and Jay-Z said my dog eats my shit. You're not going to talk in the chat anymore. Jesus Christ. Oh, boy. You have to be muted today. You have to go in timeout. They can't see the TikTok comments. They can see the YouTube comments. Listen, I don't know why you guys are so scared of anal. Lube up, go slow. You might like it. Your Lord and Savior put your prostate in your asshole, behind your asshole for a reason. So close for that stimulation. We're here. We're here, Lethal. I mean, I don't think this is the appropriate forum to have that conversation, Lily, but, you know, I'm not gonna yuck somebody else's yum. Yeah, nobody's forcing anybody to transition. No one is forcing anybody to have anal. No one is forcing anyone into gay same-sex relationships. Like, nobody is doing that. It's not for everybody, Orbs, and you need to respect that. If somebody says they're not into that, they're not into it. Whether they want to try it or have tried it and decided it's not for them, then it's a personal choice. Like, trans people have existed for thousands of years, since the beginning of time. Trans people have existed. Gay people have existed since the beginning of time. Just because now we have research about the topics and we have terminology and we can put a name to what it is that we're talking about doesn't mean that it's new and it just happened. Right, since people. It just means that we better understand now. Y'all are just weird. Like, why are you so obsessed with homosexuality and trans people? Like, of all the things we have going on in the world, you want to know what's most important to me? Like, if somebody's asked me why am I a Democrat, or why do I vote Democrat, because I don't really consider myself a Democrat, but it is just they're more aligned with the way I vote. Anyway, if somebody asks me why do I vote that way, it's because I want children to be fed. Because I want people to have access to resources. Those are my priorities, right? Not people's genitalia and the sex assigned at birth and who they're humping. Like, who's cracking you open on a Saturday night is not anything of my concern. Okay? Like, my concerns are the kids fed? Do we have access to resources? Are people getting educated? Can y'all motherfuckers read? Like, that is what my priorities are. Like, do you guys not see how fucked up it is that we have people in this country who can't feed their children, who don't have homes, who aren't educated? The United States literacy rate is a fucking joke. Like, you're not concerned about those things, but you care about who's pissing in the bathroom? Like, what? What? Oh, God. Cracked you up on a Saturday night. What are liberal priorities? I'm not a liberal, so I can't speak to that. I'm only muting people who are saying things that are not appropriate to say in the chat. If you're using caps in the chat, you will get muted. Caps are for me and for mods. So Jacob R-C9H, stop using caps or you will get muted. Same thing for you, Cap for Life. No caps in the chat. If you're using caps, you get muted. I'm talking about why I support Democrats over Republicans. So what are you talking about? No, you got hung up on because they paid to kick you. See that right there? They sent a galaxy to boot you. And so you got kicked. They were tired of you. Kitty laser eyes. That is weird. Okay, so see how you're using caps in the chat and I just said no caps in the chat? Now you got to get muted. I don't know why the fuck you're yelling, but now you're going to catch a mute. I'll put you in timeout for 5 minutes. I won't mute you for the entire live. Okay, well now you just get put in timeout for the entire live, Jacob. I told you to stop using chats. Caps in the chat. If you guys use caps in the chat, you just get muted. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm going to open the phone line back up right meow. Phone line is open. You can call in. I want to know why you support the Republicans. Thank you for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Hello. My name
Yes.
is Alaga, and I'm calling from Glendive, Montana.
Thank you, Catherine, so much for this $20 super chat. Catherine said, you're brilliant, knowledgeable, and a great science communicator. Thank you for doing this important work. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you, Cap, for the chili. How old are you, caller?
I have just turned 19 a couple weeks ago.
When's your birthday?
It is. I'm not very good at dates, but anyway, I'm just wondering.
Somebody come get your kid. Somebody come get your kid. I don't know what science is. Okay. Right. You don't know your birthday? Besides the fact, what does that say? Oh my God. Come get your kid. Come get your child. Somebody come get him. But the rest doesn't apply. Just that part. His accent was fake as fuck. Yes, I do have DSL. Thank you. I don't know why you think that would hurt my feelings to say I have dick-sucking lips. Like, what? Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of high school graduates who can't read and write. No Child Left Behind was... Right, it's not an insult. He did say it. Whatever. It is redundant, yeah. It is. Habichuelas. Yes, they did write lips after DSL. Good morning. The reflecting pool is reflecting? Okay. They're always horny. Age isn't getting to me. I look good for my age. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at some MAGA women who are fucking 41 years old. Jesus Christ, they look like they smoke 2 packs of Virginia Slims a day. I love you. I love you so much. Let me see what I have. I have some messages. Guys, the phone line's open. I'm not fucking, oh, wait, it's Harry Dunn. I will donate to Harry Dunn, but I won't do it through there because I definitely don't want to get, God, the Act Blue stuff is so fucking annoying. How old am I? I am about to be 41 years old. That is extremely disgusting thing to say, Taylor, and also incorrect. So, thank you. They just hate women, Bone, because they never talk about, like, should trans men be able to play in men's sports? Like, they never talk about that. They only care about trans women. They only care about things that harm women. Like, they only care about abortion because it's a method of control against women. Like, that's all they care. They only care about trans women going into women's restrooms because they only care about controlling women. And trans women are so fucking marginalized that they're the easiest group of women to pick on. Like, subconsciously, y'all are admitting that you think trans women are women. I don't know if you know this, but subconsciously, you are fucking admitting that you think trans women are women because you never talk about trans men. You never talk about how trans men fit in with society. You're always concerned about trans women because you love to control women. So you, in fact, are admitting that you think trans women are women. Stupid little fuckers. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If being trans is such a superpower and gives you such a competitive edge, then why are you not concerned about trans men? Because you just hate women. You want to control women. So inadvertently, you are admitting that you think trans women are women. Thank you. Have a nice day. Right, Crystal. But then do absolutely nothing to actually protect women or children, which is the fucking crazy thing. Do absolutely nothing to actually protect women or children, because we know that the number one unaliver of children is gun violence. Don't want to do anything about that, though. Thank you for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Calling from Salt Lake City, Utah.
And what is your name?
Dalton.
Dalton. All right, cool, Dalton. How are you today?
Doing well. I was just really just on the stream, just watching it for like shits and giggles. But I kind of was just interested more in like your logic behind the trans women and men, because trans men they're not really as dangerous as a trans woman. I think that's
Why
the
do you
issue.
think that? Well, if being trans gives you some kind of competitive or biological advantage, then why and it's such like a superpower, then why do we not care about trans men?
No, I don't think it's trans is a superpower.
Boogerman sent a $2 super chat and said, why don't studs want to use men's restrooms? Some of them do, actually, Boogerman.
Yeah, it's men that are the superpower here. Just because you put trans in front of the title man doesn't mean they get the same superpower.
Well, why not? If they're taking testosterone and they have high levels of testosterone, and like why do they, and their muscle mass increases and their bone density increases, why do they not have a superpower? Why are you not concerned about trans men being in men's sports? Why do they not have a competitive edge?
Because they weren't born a man, so it's almost like they're just a boy.
So
the better phrase would be they're trans boys. They're trans boys. They still subpar.
So you just don't believe anything that you're saying. You're just gonna parrot what other people are saying. Do it, A.
I mean, So that's all you got?
If being trans gives you some kind of competitive edge. Oh, sorry, friend, they kicked you. Bye. Nobody wants to talk about trans people anymore. We want to talk about why you support the Republicans. We want to talk about policy. We want to talk about the environment. We want to talk about foreign affairs. We want to talk about immigration. We want to talk about anything other than people's fucking genitals and where they choose to insert them. Like, I'm so tired of this conversation. Yes, I kicked him, Matt. While LeBron James would still be tall and still have large hands, LeBron James would not have the same competitive edge. We're not talking about trans people anymore. The end. Thank you for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Brant, NC.
You said Brant or Grant? I'm sorry.
Grant, NC.
Alrighty. What would you like to add to the conversation?
You were talking about trans
We're not talking about
people,
trans people anymore.
or
We're
have
not
you
talking
moved the
about trans
topic?
We're not talking about trans people anymore.
Okay, what's the topic then?
Did you not look at your screen before you called?
I'm sorry, did you break up or?
When you were watching the stream, did you not see what it said above my head?
Why do you still support the Republicans?
Correct. That is the topic of conversation.
Oh, damn. I called in when you were talking about trans people and then you moved on to the next.
No worries. Have a good day. All right. Next caller. They're Peacock, they'll lose their fucking minds. I agree, James. Wicked, wicked work. They are obsessed. Like, why are you guys so obsessed? I don't know. Thank you for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Well, my name is Brian, and I'm calling from Maryland.
All right, Brian, what's up?
I'm just curious because I am not a Republican anymore, and I'm curious what you would say to someone who grew up Republican and in that environment and then started to change their views, and what was the big things that changed your views? Because I could explain the big things that changed my views, and I still agree with some Republican opinions, but I'm very curious about that.
I mean, for me, it was pretty simple, right? The very first time I voted Republican. My parents are Republicans. And as I grew up and I went out into the world, I joined the military. I started living on my own, paying my own bills, doing all the things, and seeing how policies started impacting people on an everyday level. And when I started looking at those policies and seeing that Republican policies by and far were harmful to marginalized communities, I started thinking, well, this is fucked up. I started looking at the justice system and seeing what was happening in the justice. And I'm talking about this is at 18, 19 years old, because this stuff isn't generally taught in schools, right? This is education outside of public schools. But started seeing how the justice system unfairly impacted people of color far more than white people. And seeing all of these things and being in the world and living, touching grass, as people like to say, I was like, yeah, this shit ain't cool. I'm not down for this. And to be quite honest, I would rather pay more money in taxes and make sure that other people had access to resources than to pay less in taxes and watch people suffer.
I agree with 90% of what you just said, and yeah, that was a very similar thing for me. And a lot of it was just you see what's going on. Like, you see someone like Bernie Sanders saying we shouldn't have billionaires. And then you see they're not getting properly taxed, and they're actually rigging the tax system so they don't have to pay anything, and things like that. And I know that's very simple, but yeah, I was just very curious of that, because I'm like, what was your growth? Because yeah, you even said yourself you were Republican when you were younger, and I was as well. And I feel like the Republican Party has completely failed the average American. Basically exactly what you just said. They've completely failed them, and it's terrible. So I'm glad I'm glad I have a similar opinion to you. I don't want to take up much of your time. You can get another caller in here. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you too. And thank you for being so civil when you called in, because that doesn't happen very often. So thank you for that.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a nice day, night, wherever you at.
Have a nice day. Bye. See, guys, that's how you call in and ask questions. You be respectful and say, what, you know, I think this, and where do you feel on this? And, like, that's how you have a conversation with somebody. This whole, like, trans people! We're not doing that. We're not doing that. It was pleasant. It was a nice change of pace. Man hungry? Honestly, I'm disappointed in myself for liking dick, but that's besides the point. Most folks don't know enough to care enough. That's fair, Valerie. That's fair. Thanks, Swampy. I'll take that as a compliment. Thanks for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, hi, hello. My name is Cap. I'm calling from Florida. How are you? Am I live?
I'm great. You're live right now, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey, Amanda, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Okay. Okay, no, I'm feeling kind of oppressed, bro, because Hector blocked me yesterday. Johnny blocked me. I'm getting a whole bunch of, like, I feel like it's me type of vibe. So I'm going to be mild today and just ask very simple questions because I don't want to piss anybody off.
All right, well, let's start with answering the prompt. Let's start with answering the prompt,
okay.
And then we can go to questions. So why do you still support
What's
the
the prompt?
Republicans? It's right there on the screen, sweetheart. It says, why do you still support the Republicans?
Oh, because like I tried to say yesterday, it's like, what's the alternative route? And I know people don't like to hear that on the left. But, man, if you guys aren't supporting Bernie, you guys aren't supporting Jasmine Crockett, I can't get anything from AOC or from anybody else like Hakeem Jeffries. I mean, like, if you guys are ignoring Bernie, I mean, that's a problem within itself with that party. So, I mean, you guys need to figure out who's the true face until you can start saying, why did I vote for Trump? Because right now the Kamala Harris funding didn't get any help either from what we saw. So it's like, yeah, we want to pump these guys up, but your own Democratic Party doesn't want to help fund them or support them. That's another argument in itself. But
is that volume better for you guys?
The Department of Homeland Security and how I come to find out, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't like to spread out misinformation, because a lot of people like to say that after the fact. But is it true that you had a lot of issues trying to fund ICE, but the Department of Homeland Security bill got passed, and I heard a bunch of Democrats crossed over to help fund ICE moving forward. And I thought, from what I heard with the fear-mongering, that ICE was bad. So why are they getting funding now? And the Democrats are like, okay, yeah, let's do that because the border's a problem now. How does that work?
Who voted in favor of the bill?
No, I'm asking. I'm doing a fact check. I need you to do that for me. Is it true that you have more than?
I'm not. I don't work for you. Who crossed over and voted in favor of it?
If I'm asking you that question, how are you going to ask me that question?
Well, you said that was your claim, so support your claim.
I'm coming to you for knowledge
so if you're,
to find out if that's true, and you're asking me if
I'm not here to educate you. I'm here to have conversations with people. If your claim, I see why you got kicked. If your claim is that.
What do you mean? I didn't do anything wrong.
If your claim is that Democrat.
That you can't answer.
Sir, if your claim is that Democrats crossed over to the other side of the aisle and voted in favor of ICE funding, then support your claim. It is not for me to support your claim.
Okay, can we find out if that's fact first before I support it? Because I would really like to support it.
So fact check for yourself.
You're the politician person. You're the political talk person. Like, can we talk about that and try to do fact checks on that as opposed to like the Epstein list that you guys haven't talked about?
Sir, before you assert a claim, you should research your own premise, friend. Like, that's not for me to do.
I'm trying to make an inquiry. I'm trying to figure it out. You guys are the
okay. Well, inquire with Google.
So you want me to go through Google?
Yep.
So you're telling me you basically want me to rely on ChatGPT?
Nope. I want you to go through Google and don't use the AI overview and start reading through articles and find out the information for yourself.
So that means that you don't know about the Democrats crossing over to help fund the ISIS.
I didn't say that I didn't, or I did not say one way or another. I said for you to research and support your own claim.
Okay, what you need to research too is when Biden had Easter
I don't need to
Sunday
do anything.
at the White House. What was going on when Biden was in office when Easter Sunday was happening? I'll let you marinate on that. Have a great day.
Trans Day of Visibility. Trans Day of Visibility happens the same day every year. Easter, however, happens on different days every year. So just because they lined up on one year does not mean that anybody detracted from Easter. They just happened to be on the same day. He really did think he ate. He did. He thought he ate. Let me open the phone line back up. I barely even said anything. He made himself crash out. He did hang up on me. Thanks for calling the stream. Please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Name's Levi. I'm out of Texas.
Hey, Levi. How are you today?
I'm doing well, girlie. I hope you've been doing okay.
I'm doing phenomenal. It's a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is, madam. So, I can't say that I support Republicans unconditionally. I don't think that anybody should support one side or the other unconditionally because
I agree.
There's good points here, good points there. But I will say that the main reason why I look towards Republicans, not necessarily far right or anything like that, is because of a lot of the things that are happening in California and Oregon and Washington, where a lot of these Democratic leaders and judges and whatnot are letting criminals, like hard criminals, just out onto the street for no reason.
Hi, Brian.
So if that's on one side, then morally, I feel like I should be on the other side. You know?
Okay. I don't know that that's true.
What do you mean you don't know what's true?
I don't know that what you're saying is true. Are they being released because of policy that was passed? Are they being released to overcrowding? Like what exactly are you talking about?
They're being released on policy. So a lot
what
of
specific policies? If you could.
Yes, ma'am. A lot of these issues, especially where multiple murders and multiple drug infractions and rapes and homicides and all that kind of stuff happened, even if they do have overcrowded populations in a prison, if someone has killed somebody or has assaulted somebody on dozens, if not multiple dozens of times, regardless of overcrowding, shouldn't that person be put away?
I mean, typically they are. Are you talking about people who are exonerated? Are you talking about people who commit certain crimes with parole eligibility? Like, what exactly are you talking about?
Here, let me look up an exact example for you real quick. Sorry if I'm taking up too much of your time, darling.
No, you're fine.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I shouldn't walk in my house with that. I'm kind of scatterbrained. My apologies.
You're fine, honey. It's okay.
Oh, still, I have to apologize. It's just the way my brain works.
I appreciate you being kind.
Oh yeah, no worries.
You know what, Six? It's like a Southern thing. I call everybody love, honey, sweetheart. Like, it's just a Southern thing. Like, and I'm not even from the South. It's just something I've acquired. They ask like why we're using pet names. Like it's totally just a thing that people in the South do. I don't. Sometimes said genuinely, and sometimes it's said like a little derogatory, like bless your heart. It sounds like a nice thing to say, but it's really calling you a dumbass.
Well, that's all just based on reflection, though.
Right.
And I would say if you was in Florida, I would consider that South, but like not like the South like people think.
No, it's not like Texas, Oklahoma, but still like, even Georgia, it's still the same thing. We still say that, hun, honey, sweetheart, love, darling, things like that. It's just I guarantee you.
Well, I say all these things and my silly ass can't find nothing proper to give you proper.
I mean, it's fine. I mean,
still, I said I would try to find some, and I can't really do so. So that's kind of a negative on my part. And I know I should probably do a good bit more research, like you were telling that gentleman before.
Do you want to go look it up and call back? You can.
Oh, I'm probably going to be about doing stuff. I was just flipping through YouTube and saw you, and I was like, oh, well, she's being nice. I'll give her a call.
Listen, I match energy. If you call being a butthead, then I'm going to be a butthead right back. But if you're being a sweetheart, I'm going to be real nice to you right back.
As well you should, darling. As well you should. But, okay, so I can't say definitively, but because, again, I should probably do a good bit more research and actually look deeper into it. But it just... Oh, man, I can't even say that now because I feel silly for not being able to give you exact.
It's okay. So just to answer like your basic question without going into a specific example, it depends on what the sentencing is, right? Like, so just because you're sentenced to life in prison doesn't mean that you're actually going to die in prison. Like some, depending on the crime, depending on the state, some places give a mandatory minimum, and once you've met that mandatory minimum sentence, like let's say you were sentenced to 25 years. Once you meet the minimum term for that 25 years, you can be eligible for parole and then released. There's also some mandatory release with supervision. There's also exoneration, meaning your conviction was overturned, or commutation and clemency. So it just depends on what exactly you're talking about. There's even another thing with like procedural errors. If somebody fucked up during the collection of evidence or things like that, and that comes to light during the appeal process, then the conviction can be overturned. So there's a whole bunch of different factors that really play into that, and I don't think that that's necessarily something that's Democrat versus Republican. That's just the judicial system.
Maybe I shouldn't quantify it as Democrat versus Republican then, because I don't want to say that everyone in California or Oregon or Washington definitely think that way. But it definitely seems like there's a lot of things that are going on in them states that I can't agree with, like how Oregon and Washington have decriminalized a lot of like the super hard drugs and whatnot, or how the
like what drugs?
What is it, lady? What's what?
What drugs has Washington? I have to be careful. I have to say D-rugs because I'm also on TikTok right now. But what have they decriminalized?
Oh, everything. Literally everything. Like in Oregon, in Portland specifically, and in Seattle now, if a cop or a police officer sees you doing drugs, any kind of drugs, they are no longer allowed to arrest you or even do anything to you.
So the previous possession law in 2021 was struck down. Like Washington did not actually decriminalize possession. It's still a crime statewide. Knowingly possessing a controlled substance. Well, the state supersedes municipality, but in Washington, this is according to the ACLU. Knowingly possessing a controlled substance is a gross misdemeanor. And then that's punishable by up to $180 days in jail and a $1,000 fine for first offense. And then also comes into play how much you're possessing. Is it possession with intent to distribute? Things like that.
Right.
So, but D-rugs haven't been decriminalized.
Okay, maybe decriminalized was the wrong phrase to use for that. Then I don't know how to say what I was trying to say.
I mean, are you talking about like MJ? Talking about recreational MJ and medical MJ usage?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Whenever I was in Portland, I mean, granted, it was before 2021, so maybe that's not the best example I should use either. Yeah, I should do more research. So I apologize for that fact, at least.
Okay, no worries. So, even talking about Oregon, according to PBS, there was an experiment with drug decriminalization, but that officially ended September 1st of 2024, and possession of small amounts of controlled substances was restored. Yeah, it was something that they had. Yeah, in 2024 they recriminalized.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that then.
Yeah, it's House Bill 4002.
Cool. Yeah, so I heard about the part before that. I didn't hear about that part, so I can.
No worries.
Well, I mean,
no worries.
That's why we have these conversations, you know.
Mhm.
I always love to be proven wrong. If I can be proven wrong, then that makes me a happy boy.
Especially when it comes to stuff that's serious, right? Like, we know that drugs
really
have a
if
negative
I'm
impact
wrong,
on our communities.
Or if yeah, exactly. If I have misinformation or something like that, I would like to be proven wrong. Because again, I don't like to think that I'm on either side of the aisle, because there are some things that I like from what the Democrats have said, and there are some very few things that I like the Republicans have said. Do I like either of them exceptionally? No, I can't say that I do, but that's why we're a democratic republic, and we're not a democracy or just a republic.
Right. So people are mad that I said that was according to PBS. There's also the National Institute of Health did a study on it. The Drug Policy Alliance did a study on it. Like, there's multiple sources, hun. Like, the people in the chat is who I'm talking to, James specifically, if you would like to talk about it. But I did cite the Oregon House Bill 4002 is a direct source from the government. So, if PBS isn't your jam, you can go look up the House Bill. PBS is pretty much non-biased. From what I've seen, they don't lean one way or the other.
I mean, how can we be upset with something that Mr. Rogers helped start?
Right? All right, friend. Well, thanks for calling the stream. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
I hope you do as well. God bless.
Same to you. Bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Nah, I mean, the interrupting is, like, it does get annoying, but if you're being sweet, like, who's gonna be mad at you for like, I don't get mad at that. If you're being an asshole and you're over talking me, like, yeah, then I'm gonna get mad. But if you're just having a conversation, it's okay. It's all right. He was a nice guy. Do we agree on things? Who knows? I don't know. But see, when you ask questions in earnest, you learn something new. That's why we have conversations like that. You have a serious question for that. I've never been addicted to opiates. As a matter of fact, I've only taken opiates maybe twice in my life, when I got my wisdom teeth pulled and when I broke my foot. I took one the very first day I did it. And that was it. Thank you so much, Curly. I appreciate you. I don't particularly like taking opiates. They make me feel weird. It's not a feeling that I enjoy. Bob, that is not a coherent sentence. Dilaudid. I've never had Dilaudid, but I've heard things. All right, Bob, try again, babe. Yeah, I don't like to take them. But we all know that I poke smart. Yeah, I like to poke smart. Guys, no caps in the chat. If you are not a mod, or me, no caps in the chat, please. If I see you do it more than once, I will just put you in timeout. Please do not use caps in the chat. Bone, when I go live late at night, I poke smart at the end of the live, and I get baked, and we have some fun. There's a guy over on YouTube, Godzilla King, who loves when I poke smart. He says some wild shit, like, not wild in the sense that it's, like, controversial, but he just, like, cracks jokes and stuff, and he has me cracking up. Yeah, Emily, what's your question, babe? What about yelling about frijoles? Can we use caps then? Sure. Everyone enjoys watching the evolution of my eyes. I start here and then slowly go to here. It is true. It is true. During the live, we have like check-ins on. Amanda, you good? I'm not on any SSRIs. I don't take any SSRIs. What makes Vance a better president if Trump gets impeached and hopefully nothing really, Emily. It's getting rid of one evil turd to get another evil turd, but we just gotta keep on keeping on. Oh, thank you, Linz. An SSRI is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. I am a great gardener. Your husband doesn't let you? I would never let a man tell me what to do, unless it was a certain type of scenario in which there is consent involved already, and then he can tell me what to do. But I would never let a man tell me what to do. I'm like, you don't let me? I'm not allowed? Yeah, he definitely won't be able to keep that stronghold over the people who identify as MAGA. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Would I ever collab with Dean and Parker? I mean, sure. They're very nice people. I have met both Dean and Parker. They're young, but I feel like they're very educated, and they're like not my cup of tea when it comes to content. Like, we just do things differently. If we're having conversations about marginalized communities, I prefer to let those people who belong to those marginalized communities to have the voice and talk, and that's not something that they usually do. But Dean and Parker, I think, are not without flaw, as we are all human. But, you know. Thanks, DK. I'm working on my beard. It's still a little patchy, but I'm getting there. My supervisor is a woman. Most of my professors were women. I had 2 male professors. So, I mean, even in the military, I had a female drill sergeant. I had male drill sergeants as well, but my current supervisors, both of them, are both women. I don't disagree with that. Oh, my bosses right now are fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. I absolutely adore them. Like, I enjoy having a woman as a boss so much more than having a man as a boss. Every time I've had a woman as a boss, and I've said this to my boss that I have right now, I said, I genuinely enjoy you being my supervisor, because I know you have created this environment where if I have an issue, I can come and talk to you, and I'm allowed to talk to you, and I know that I'm going to be heard and my feelings are going to be validated. Like, I totally admire the shit out of my bosses right now. But it is getting to that time where I have to go see my boss for the day, and it's time for me to go to work. It is 11:39 p.m. here a.m. here on the East Coast, and I have to go take a shower and get dressed. So I will unmute the phone. We'll have one more phone call. You have about 30 seconds to call in. If you want to call in, we'll do one more phone call, and then we will move on, and I will go to work. Daniel, I think you're being obtuse on purpose. It's 407-494-4348. The number to call in again is 407-494-4348. Call in. Do the thing. No, the guest requests aren't working, Luke. Thanks for calling the stream. Can you please tell me your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, hi, my name is Dave. I'm in New York.
Hey, Dave from New York. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What would you like to add to the conversation?
I was down in the comments under the name Bob. I was chiming in that the last caller, he did have a legitimate point to make. I don't know the specifics of the laws they're passing all the way out west, but I will say bail reform has been unpopular in New York. And it's a killer because it's a smart policy. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
From just a fairness point of view, it doesn't make any sense. Someone has money, can afford bail, they get to go home. Someone doesn't have money, can't afford bail, they stay in jail. Like, I get it, and I understand that it's saving the state money because having to arrest people for not showing up, it just wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
But it's extremely unpopular with voters because the newspapers love when someone gets arrested for a violent crime. The judge does not have the power to hold them. They have to be released. There are metrics someone can meet if they are a dangerous criminal to be held and be ineligible for release. I don't know what they are. Again, I'm just telling you what we're inundated with living in the state. Those metrics appear too difficult to meet because it is a legitimate happening occurrence that dangerous people who then go on to get convicted of violent crimes do get released on the street, and they do repeat offend before their court date in many instances. It costs Democrats a lot of support out in the suburbs, and it's a policy that's mostly only supported in urban areas. I believe that, popular opinion-wise, I believe that it would be thrown out, it would be overturned or replaced or fixed with a new bail reform law. But those few politicians who...
Thank you for the super chat, Brian.
This is what they wanted. They've been able to stonewall any attempts to fix it. Our prior governor, Andrew Cuomo, went on a tirade trying to fix it. He wasn't able to get it past the assembly for whatever reason. Our current governor, Kathy Hochul, is still trying to fix it. And, you know, these are two mainstream, prominent members of the Democratic Party who are both on record. They do not support the law the way it is, even though Cuomo passed it. And, you know, here it is. It's just another thing that's making the Democratic Party very unpopular with the working class right now, very unpopular with suburban voters.
I think that has to do with how bail reform is being presented. Like, I'm looking at, well, let's look specifically at New York. New York. I mean, we had some bail reform here in Florida, which was what I was going to talk about, but let's talk about New York specifically. Let's see, let me pull the data on New York. But essentially what it did was just make it a little bit more easy to qualify who is eligible for bail and who is not. Like, all right, the internet is being fucking stupid. But there are, how can I explain this? There are crimes like such as second-degree burglary or a crime that's resulting in death that could make you eligible for like bail, but it depends, and it's always been dependent upon the crime, the person's flight status, like whether or not they believe them to be a flight risk, whether or not they believe that they're going to reoffend. Like, those things are still factored into whether or not somebody is eligible for bail.
I mean, that makes sense to me, and believe me, I was one of the people who used to love pointing out that no matter how severe the accusation is, bail is supposed to be based on your likelihood of showing up to court. It's not based on how bad the crime is that you're accused of.
No, that's also a factor.
It's always been, anyway.
No, the severity of the crime is always faster. It is.
Maybe it is in Florida. Okay, it's not in New York. I don't believe it ever was. It's strictly based on your likelihood to show up.
Nope. Nope. The crime matters because we don't give bail. Bail is not assigned to somebody who shoplifts versus somebody who commits murder. So yes, cash bail, which was effective January of 2020, was eliminated for misdemeanors and non-violent felonies only. That was in January of 2022. Or sorry, January of 2020. But then July of 2020, they added 25 additional crime types to become bail eligible, including second-degree burglary and any crime resulting in death. Then there's domestic violence amendments, which expanded qualified offenses for bail eligibility, which included strangulation, unlawful imprisonment, and hate crime, assault, arson when committed against a family or household member, and added non-monetary release conditions like no contact orders, mandatory programming, and orders of protection.
Now,
and then in 2023, well, in 2023, Hochul signed a law that eliminated the requirement that judges choose the least restrictive bail option, giving judges broader discretion to set bail or detain someone outright. So Hochul actually did the opposite.
Okay, good. Unfortunately, this policy had been so unpopular here, and it's just another one of those things that reporting on all the problems that it caused and how I think was kind of low-hanging fruit, and nobody wanted to report on it when she fixed it, apparently.
I think it has to do with...
I wasn't informed.
Yeah, I think it has to do with, like, a little bit of that, where you're getting news from and which way that news source may or may not lean politically. Like, we even looking at this information that I got here, it says that 5-year data from John Jay College, which came out February of 2026, showed recidivism rates were actually down.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's a smart policy. The bail reform is doing everything that policymakers said it would do. My only complaint with it had been it is completely unpopular with suburban voters. It is completely unpopular with middle-of-the-fence voters. It has cost Democrats seats in this state.
Well, that's because Democrats suck at fucking messaging. They're the absolute worst at messaging. They don't, there's no brand. Like, MAGA Republicans, they have a brand. They all say the same shit. Democrats don't do that. They don't keep this primary branding, this primary messaging, and then say, oh, but also this for my campaign. Also this for me as an elected official. The Democrats absolutely fucking suck on messaging. They always have, and they probably always will.
I don't disagree with you. I say it myself quite often, but I still think someone, when that policy was put together, no one who was at that brainstorming session realized what's it going to look like when the New York Post or the Daily News finds out that we're giving someone Mets tickets because they showed up for their court date. The media loves when it looks like you're rewarding a criminal, and in the original form of the law, that was one of the. Please Google it. You don't have to take my word for it. Mm-hmm. They were incentivizing people to show up. I mean, the media is going to take that and run, regardless of which side of the aisle that media tends to report on. And it's been a very unpopular provision. People don't like it. I believe it undoubtedly hurt the party. And the gentleman who was on earlier, like I said, I think he had a legitimate point. It is a real policy. People don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a messaging issue. And guys, he is telling the truth. Back in 2019, it was a concept that was part of a limited program that was discussed in 2019 and is not a standard practice across the court system. It was just something that they tried to incentivize people to show up for their court dates.
Yeah, no, I'm not at all saying that everyone who showed
No, I was just letting them know because they were confused. They were like, nah, what? No, that didn't happen. No, it happened. It happened.
Yeah,
I mean, getting people to...
it
does.
Sure I'm taking a bath in the comments right now for bringing it up. So
no, you're fine.
But, I mean, it is the right policy. It has a million things. It works. I'll be the first to say it works. And you're probably right. It is a messaging issue like many other things.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I don't know. They might have to do something else with it. They might have to pass a very widely publicized bail reform bill just to clean it up at this point.
Sure. And that wouldn't be a bad idea. Even if they didn't change the meat and potatoes of it and just changed a couple of provisions, but then to talk about it, and they have to all be on the same messaging. They have to all talk about it. They have to, the same thing MAGA does, right? Make America great again. America first. Deport them all. Da, da, da. Like how they have those little catchphrases and they just say them over and over and over and over again. Democrats need to start doing the same thing. It's a branding issue. It's a messaging issue. It's not an actual policy issue. Well, friend, I'm gonna go get ready for work. I'm gonna go get ready for work. So I'm gonna disconnect the call. I'm gonna start saying goodbye to everybody. We're gonna find who we're gonna raid for the morning. But thank you very much for calling in, and I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. Take it easy.
Thanks. Bye. All right, you guys. It is time for me to go. And yes, Atropos, you're right. He does have a two-word tactic. That is part of his well, because he can't string together more than 3 words coherently, and even that is. But y'all have a great rest of your day. Let's go raid Olive if Olive is still alive. Everybody head over to jarofolives.politics. The O in of is a 0. I love you guys. Everybody be good, and if you can't be good, be gay and do crimes. Bye. All right, YouTube. We're done for the day. I don't really have anything to say to y'all over there except for fuck you, bye. And for those of you who I love, you know who you are. Like